Hey there, so for today's video, we're going to do something a little bit different. Today, we are going to walk you through the 6 cities that make up Boise County, Ada County. And well, we're just flat out going to spill the tea. For each town, we're going to share the #1 regret and complaint that we have heard over the past year or so from current residents who are currently considering packing up and moving out. Because yes, while living in the Treasure Valley is great, and just flat out loved by so many, when you get down to the city level, well, some cities are perfect for some, and then at the same time, horrendous for others. So if you are considering moving to any of the cities that fall into Ada County, so that includes Boise, Meridian, Eagle, Star, Kuna, and Garden City, well then, this video is for you. Ready to do this?
Spill the tea, sweetheart.
Oh, and real fast, while in this video I'm covering the cities that fall into Ada County, we will be releasing part 2 soon, in which I will be covering all the cities that fall into Canyon County. So that list includes Nampa, Caldwell, Middleton, Parma, Melba, and I'm losing a couple right now, but we're going to cover them all. So if you find this video helpful and want to see that video when it comes out, please take a quick second and just hit that subscribe button. And yeah, it also helps us out and inspires us to keep filming videos. Okay, seriously now, let's break these down. First, let's talk about Meridian. Meridian is located just about 15 to 20 minutes west of Boise, and it is Boise's largest neighboring city. You've likely heard about Meridian because holy cow, it sure has done one heck of a job making it onto all of the national best places to live, work, play lists. But well, it isn't for everyone. Full disclosure, I actually have a hard time throwing Meridian under the bus because...
Well, you should. Spill it. Spill it.
Okay, well then, the most common complaint about Meridian is, any guesses? Well, with all that national publicity and with its close proximity to Boise, yeah, the growth Meridian has experienced has been nothing short of a bit staggering. And well, our city just wasn't ready for it. Many have told us that they feel like it almost seemingly just exploded overnight and that it's morphing into a town that they hardly recognize. Now, for what it's worth, my family and I live in Meridian and we have been here for 15 years. So yes, we have definitely been here and we have witnessed its significant growth firsthand. And are there times that we find ourselves groaning about the traffic and, well, just wondering,
Where do all these people come from?
Yes, definitely. That said, it is, in our opinion, still just a great place to live, work, raise a family. We obviously think so because that's why we're still here. But we can totally commiserate with those who just feel like the traffic and growth has been just too much. And that, coupled with what many would call poor city planning and forethought, has us playing a game of catch up. So that's really the #1 complaint that we're currently hearing about living in the Meridian, Idaho area. Okay, so now let's move on to, let's go to Kuna. So while we have many friends, past clients, and even some family members who live out in Kuna and love it, well, we have definitely seen people moving out. Any guesses on the #1 Kuna regret that we've been hearing?
What does that smell?
What smell?
Okay, so with Kuna, the #1, I wish I had known this before moving here topic that we're hearing about is in regard to just how far away from I-84 it is. While it's actually only about 8 miles from I-84, with the growth that both Kuna and the south end of Meridian, so here on a map you can see where Kuna is located, the growth that both of those have experienced have definitely increased the drive time for many. So with that drive just being significantly longer on a daily basis and just flat out more congested and sometimes just really seriously pretty stressful, we've definitely seen this be particularly hard for those who need to commute to downtown Boise for work and who have work schedules that are clock dependent, meaning sometimes they have to be traveling during peak rush hour times. So that alone has certainly caused a number of former gung-ho, just Kuna-loving residents to bounce. Now, if you are moving here from another area and you're used to a long commute, well then, you'll likely be laughing to hear that even during peak travel times, it usually, as long as there isn't some kind of crazy wreck or something horrific like that, it typically only takes about 30 to 40 minutes to get to downtown Boise. So to you, maybe that sounds like a completely reasonable commute. Then again, maybe not. So for those who have lived in Kuna for 10, 15 years, or let alone those who were born and raised there, yeah, when they saw their tried and true 20 to 25 minute commute morph into a commute that was, well, double that, sometimes triple that, that has been a hard pill to swallow and has definitely caused many to move out of the valley like altogether or just move closer to Meridian or to Boise. Now, let's move to a lesser known and rarely talked about town of Garden City. Garden City is Boise's smallest neighboring town, and it is often grouped as being a part of Boise because, well, if you look at it on a map, the way it's positioned, it almost looks like it was just swallowed up by Boise. But no, the little hidden town of Garden City, which is home to about 12 to 13,000 residents, retains a separate municipal government. Flat out, the biggest issue with living in this Boise suburb is that while it is very centrally located, well, it just doesn't have that community-focused, warm vibe and feel, that vibe and atmosphere that so many are moving to the area in search of. Over the past several years, we've had friends and clients, and often clients turn friends, first rent homes and apartments in the Garden City area because, again, it is incredibly centrally located. But by and large, once their lease agreements are over, they're pretty set on moving to another outlying city. For the most part, they've all had great experiences renting, but they just know that living in Garden City wouldn't be the same as renting in Garden City.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
While the town has really made some significant progress over the past decade and now is home to many great breweries, parks, several awesome wineries, and is also home to the Boise Music Festival, as well as the Memorial Stadium where the Boise Hawks play. So yeah, you get the gist. There is a lot going on in Garden City, but it just doesn't have that community vibe. So if you are looking for more of that kids playing basketball until the sun goes down, community vibe and feel, then Garden City probably wouldn't be your best pick. Okay, now let's move out to Star, Idaho. And yes, when you talk about Star, more often than not, you say out because it's a little ways out there. It's located just about 30 minutes from Boise, but then also just 10 minutes from Eagle. There you'll find the itty bitty town of Star. Now, over the past several years, just like we've seen across the valley, we have really seen Star explode. So yes, you are likely seeing a trend here. Yep, so much growth. And while the roads and commute times are often complained about in Star 2, just like across the Treasure Valley, what's unique about Star's growth is, well, they currently don't have the schools needed. And that should have just been being built all through the incredible growth that it has been seeing. So just straight out, Star has one elementary school and one middle school, and it doesn't have a high school. High schoolers attend Eagle High in the city of Eagle. While there is a set plan to build a high school, as well as an additional elementary school, nothing has been built yet. I should point out that there are a number of fantastic charter and magnet schools within a reasonable commute. But across the board, many families with growing kiddos are concerned that the city just isn't building additional schools right now. So for families with itty bitty ones at home, we have seen many moving to neighboring cities and just making sure that they're established and situated in an area where they feel like they have more options to choose between when the time comes. I should point out, though, that we typically hear very good things about the schools that do exist there. And they, if you look at resources such as greatschools.org or niche.com, they consistently rank very well. But, well, they have grown more and more crowded, and they just, I guess the quality is there, but the quantity is not. Now, let's move a little bit north of Boise to the town of Eagle. If you've been watching our channel for a little bit, then you know that Eagle is well recognized as being, well, let's just say you could consider Eagle as being Boise and Meridian's well-to-do and just kind of fancy older sister. She's not a snob, but she's got that special air to her. And yeah, she's pretty glitzy and is doing pretty well financially. Here's just a quick look at the average sales price for homes sold across these cities over the past 3 months. And yep, as you can see, Eagle is at the top. Okay, so is that what makes people run in the other direction?
Well, no.
Although over the past several years, we have certainly seen homeowners capitalize on the incredible equity that their homes gained. Oftentimes, though, Eagle home sellers, unless moving out of state, that sold for just the sheer purpose of cashing out at the peak of the market, well, if possible, they usually actually stay within the city limits. But anyhow, let's drill down on the biggest issue we hear about from people moving out of Eagle. Ready? It's location.
Wait, what?
So this one is an interesting one because for so many, its location is a huge draw with great access to the foothills and the Boise River just running right through the heart of town. So you're probably thinking, what gives? So for those who move due to its location, their issue is typically largely in regard to how it is positioned, as you can see here on a map, in regard to the rest of the Treasure Valley. As it has grown, the roads just flat out weren't ready and traffic has gotten pretty bad. While there are alternative routes to get just about everywhere and in every section of the valley, most of them, if you're coming from Eagle, aren't going to be the speediest or the quickest.
Oh, this is taking forever.
So that extra time and headache just trying to get from point A to point B sometimes gets people wondering if the grass is greener somewhere else in the valley. That said, one thing that so many love about its location is that, well, they are the first to hit the road for a weekend getaway up in McCall or a camping trip in Cascade. For this one, if you are going to want to be gallivanting all over the valley regularly, so heading up to Lucky Peak to wakeboard, or out to St. Chapelle and Caldwell for live music and wine, or to the farmstead in Kuna, well, then you might just find yourself happier in Meridian or Boise. Totally depends on what you're looking for and really what you want your experience living in the Treasure Valley to look and feel like.
So many possibilities.
Now the biggie. What's the biggest issue we hear about from people who are considering moving out of Boise? The biggest complaint that we are hearing about most often is currently in regard to politics and how the city is being run. Over the past several years, the majority of people we've seen moving out of Boise city limits have had something negative to say about both Boise's politics and how poorly the city planned for growth. Now, as I've mentioned, the whole Treasure Valley has experienced significant growth, and especially over the past several years. And well, no one can reasonably expect a city to be able to immediately fix the various issues that growth like that brings about.
Yeah, fix it.
But it's unfortunate that there wasn't more forethought and preparation. Back in, 2006, when Andy and I were first eyeballing the Boise area and contemplating making our move here, we knew then that it was up and coming and that it was going to experience a boom. Its upcoming projected growth was already being widely talked about at the national level. So it's unfortunate that more preparation wasn't put into place earlier. What really has residents the most frustrated is typically, 1, the roads, and 2, the lack of public resources such as schools. There should have been more schools, public resources, roadways, stores, just all of those things being built up alongside of all the new development. But well, that really didn't happen and still isn't happening. So really, this is a problem that almost all Boise residents, and I'm including both born and raised native Boiseans along with transplants in this group when I call them residents, because they all are at this point. Almost all of them agree that the city hasn't really kept up with the growth, and it's a problem. Thankfully, this is Idaho though, and you better believe there are people out there working on it. So there you have it, one significant reason for each city in Ada County that currently have some contemplating moving out. Now, of course, these factors vary from person to person, and what's a deal breaker for one might not even be like a drop in the bucket for another. If you have any questions and would like to discuss what you are looking for, my husband Andy and I would love to help you out. Shoot us a text or give us a call or send us an email. We work with people every single week. We help them explore the Treasure Valley and ultimately find their perfect spot. And we would love to do the same for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day.